and I'm one of the biggest. That's one of my biggest things, is like not being content with pretty much anything, and I've not yet realised whether it's a blessing or a curse, because it echoes in everything of not being content with, whatever it is. I won't go into too much detail, but yeah, I think, climbing that, summit the first time, had such a great experience, and I get a lot out of it. I get a lot out of exposing myself to danger and adversity. I think a lot of people can get a lot of good out of exposing themselves to adversity. There's a massive sense of reward standing on the summit of Everest. And for me, I think doing it the first time, and then you kind of, or I felt like my odds were narrowed going into it the second time. Simply just because, I had it in my head that I was lucky the first time, everything went well. But to actually stand on the summit that second time, although it was a worse experience, kind of meant way more to me than standing on it the first time. I actually shed a little tear whilst I was at the top as well. So yeah, I guess it's just that, that challenge, that adversity, and just not being content with doing it once.
Well, for me, I just found that the more I invested in others, the more that opened doors. It was almost like opportunities. And when it comes to opportunities, believe me, people are always looking for the opportunities to line up. The opportunities are already there. It's you that's got to line up. And once you line yourself up, once you become fulfilled, once you become awake, aware, conscious, and I do believe a great part of that is helping others and giving, you open yourself up to that, and everything starts to align. And it's almost, some of the things that happen now, me and my girlfriend or business partner, Laura, some of the stuff that happens, it would freak people out. It would honestly freak people out. It's just so, and we used to say, things happen, opportunities come up, and we go, things that we used to call them coincidences. We used to go, wow, that's weird. It's not weird. It's synchronicity. And we've lined ourselves up for the opportunities, and the opportunities have prevailed themselves. But, once you do start, I feel that by starting to really help others is such a powerful tool that then opens up so many opportunities to you on a personal level, professional level, everything. It's hard to actually explain how it all works, but it's just given us so much in return.
I think I try to do as much positivity as I can every day, and you'll have heard this a lot now. Get up in the morning, first thing to do, make the bed. Make the bed, start it and make it. Not just throw a quilt on, make it. And start and finish something. And that's what we tend to do less of today. You try to do 10 different things, and you if you're lucky, you achieve one. Start one and finish one, then start another, finish another. And I don't do that every day. I'd be lying if I says I did, but that's what I try to do. And that comes from a military regime as well of 27 plus years. Get up, sort your kit out, starting with your bed, sort your clothing out, whatever you're doing, and have a structure for the day. And then I tend to get up. What I try to do is get up, I make the bed, go downstairs, I'll put my sports kit on, and I'll go out and train. I don't have a drink of water. I don't listen to any music. I don't have any food. I just train. And again, and this works for me. It doesn't work for anybody else. So before these super fucking PT loonies who tell me, well, that's whatever, it works for me. Okay. So it's a psychological thing where I feel if I haven't had anything to eat, I haven't drank anything, all I'm burning off is the fat and the waste from the day before. And that works for me. And that started again from a very, very young age. At the boxing club I went to after the 9-year-old kid stage, where I got put into a proper boxing club, that's how we trained. It was like the old Rocky days. There was no music. There's no messing around and shouting to each other and playing games. It was all training. You weren't allowed any water till you'd finished training. You weren't allowed any music. And it worked. And it worked for us because you kept concentrating. And the mental side of, your mind kind of made your body work harder, or that's how it felt, and it still feels like today. So that's my routine. I get up, no food, no water, no music. I train. It might be 40 minutes, it might be an hour, depends how I feel on that day. And I'll go with that mantra, and I do. And my wife will tell you, I say to myself, I'm going to road walk and run, and I end up running and sprinting and pushing myself even further.
Just don't be scared of things, and just don't be scared of putting yourself out there and you know, exposing yourself to things that are difficult, because, you know, 9 times out of 10, there's a reason that your body doesn't want to, or your mind doesn't want to say yes to that certain thing, and it's trying to protect it. But essentially, it's, if you can say yes to whatever you need to, you'll get a lot of growth and benefit from that. I think also right now, it's, you know, this current situation going on, you know, everyone thinks it's the end of the world kind of thing. I think just understanding that how resilient the human race is, you know, the wars that we've been through, the famine, the plagues. I think at one stage, you know, we'll get through this in the end, and we'll look back on these times as history.
Because I find that I do, you know, your first 30 minutes is so important when you wake up, because, and I just find I have a lot of, I don't know if it's the same for everyone, I think it's the same for a lot of people though. As soon as I wake up in the morning, my mind is quite negative. You know, I don't particularly want to jump out of bed. I don't, you know, you're going from a sleeping state to an awake state, and your awake state is being dragged back to bed by your sleep state. So for me, it's really about changing that. You know, it's as simple as getting up and going, as uncomfortable as it seems, taking a step in the right direction is keeping me in line with my goals. I don't know, I just made that up, but you know, having something that sort of reconfirms or affirms to you that what you're doing is in line with your goal will keep you moving forward, instead of thinking about where, you know, coming from where you want to be, where you have been. So positive affirmations for me just put me back on track, in line with my goal, and confirm and take me out of that negative state. You know, and every time you have some kind of negativity about something, you know, whether it's going for a run in the morning or whatever, you know, just simply saying stuff like, I know that uncomfortable it is at the moment, I know I'm going to feel amazing straight after I do this run. Just by saying that to yourself in your head gives you enough motivation to take a foot out the door. You know, it's just reprogramming. It's just confirming that the actions you're taking are positive, and you need to do them to be where you want to be. You know, so I think it's really important that it just keeps you on track in a positive frame of mind.